Because of the size of this space, it's 420 square feet in total. We were trying to figure out how to best manipulate the space, making dense space with storage and creating volumes. How do we go about creating the largest void? And the idea of the bed became both the problem and became the solution simultaneously. So the problem is, what do you do with this large bed in a one-room space? So what we decided to do was to flip it and make it the object in the space. So it's the elephant in the room. My name is Brian Messana with Messana O'Rourke. Welcome to my 420 square foot studio apartment located in the West Village of New York City. I've always wanted to be an architect. My father is an interior designer, and that's what my first experience was, visiting him at his studio. I was super interested in the way things were put together and also just the way architecture and design and interior design touched people's lives and how that people interacted with space and built form. My partner, Toby O'Rourke, and I created Messana O'Rourke in 1996, and we met in college. Our first project was for Donna Karen, a store for her in Santiago, Chile. Neil Drew, otherwise known as Drew, is my husband. We had been living in, and I had been living in and working in the East Village since 1989, dating myself big time. And we're looking for an apartment to live in. And when I came to the space, I immediately looked at the view, which is west facing, and you can see the Hudson River and New Jersey and the Jefferson Market Library Tower. I said, this is it. Moved into the space. I think we were here for about a year. The renovation of our apartment took 8 months. Probably the biggest driving force for the length of the construction period was the size, because you couldn't have like the plumber here and then the electrician there. Like everyone was on top of each other. The apartment is nicknamed or is called the Jewel Box. What Drew and I were trying to create, it's a space that is cozy. It has all the requirements of an apartment, but at the same time, the scale of a boutique hotel room. So every night it feels like, we're coming home to a special place. The exterior of the Jewel Box is cladded in unlacquered or live brass, which patina's over time. It's a 7'2" by 7'2" by 7'2" cube. And the design is basically to fit a queen-size bed, and the cube opens up on 3 sides. With most studios, when you walk in, it's one space, you see it all. When we created the Jewel Box, this container starts to segment the space and create layers of space. So we have the entry, the hallway, the great room. The container becomes the bedroom, but also because it's elevated and has storage underneath, that's our basement. And because we step up to the bed, that's our second floor. When we open up the doors, our bedroom really becomes the entire space. And we want it to be more like a Donald Judd piece, an artistic piece, so it does not go to the ceiling. And it's not that we sleep with the doors closed, but it just gives it that feeling again, like it's an object that sits within a space. The Jewel Box acts as a piece of the architecture. Here are the closets. One of the challenges with a small space is how do you create plenty of space for storage? So what we did was we lined both the north and south walls with storage. I don't know if we're minimalist, maybe we're reductivist, but visual noise really kind of shuts us down. So we create these containers to store books, shoes, clothing. Visually, it allows you to kind of really just focus on the space as opposed to all the different objects within the space. We've also included lighting within the closets. And so this also gives us sort of task lighting versus atmospheric lighting. So our atmospheric lighting, we have several vertical cove lights, which kind of is the sexy light, and this is the task light. So there are some lighting strategies that we used. One is separating volumes from walls. As opposed to slamming an object up against a wall, we create a vertical light pocket. And that gives us mood lighting / sexy lighting. And this is my living room. Saturdays and Sundays, I'll drink coffee with our dog Pius, who's decided he's too shy to attend this event. It's super comforting to be here in the evening, and we watch television, and usually I fall asleep on the sofa at some point, and then we retire to the jewel box. Everything in this apartment was meticulously thought of over and over and over again. So the idea of furniture, what scale, whether or not we have full chairs to sit at the table or stools, everything was considered and I guess curated. Drew and I laid out with tape every piece of furniture to see, is this the right distance from the kitchen so that we could cook and pass each other by? Is the area rug going to get in the way and you're going to trip? Every piece was really thought through to understand about scale and about function. The one thing that we struggle with is this coffee table and the objects that are on this coffee table. The number of books increases and decreases. The one thing that I would actually reduce the storage amount for clothing and add more bookshelves, because I have a bit of a habit and books always arrive and Drew is like, another book, and what are you going to do with that book? So this is probably a little more curated than it normally is. The stacks are usually higher. A lot of designers, architects always hide the television, but honestly, I love watching movies. So this was also important to us as well, because we wanted a space where we could really hang out and enjoy movies. And this television is recessed into this wall of storage, which it's lined with 1/4-inch solid brass frame. So it feels very intentional. It's not just a television that's up on a wall. These doors fully retract and disappear so that they are not cumbersome and get in the way of cooking and moving around through the space. And we often do this in whether or not they're small spaces or large spaces. It's much more convenient to get the doors out of the way. In keeping with the idea of reveal, this space transforms by revealing certain aspects of it. In this particular situation, we're revealing the kitchen, which both Drew and I, my husband, love to cook. So we have a fully functioning kitchen with a dishwasher, induction cooktop, combi oven, steam oven, and warming drawer. And then in addition, we have full refrigerator and freezer. Shelf above with hidden light. We have a hidden light above as well, which illuminates the whole kitchen. And then we have a series of cupboards. And then we do sort of drawers within drawers to simplify the lines. This kitchen really is super functional, and the idea of opening and revealing it so we can cook, and then when we're not cooking, we can close the doors and conceal the kitchen and transform the space back into office mode or just chill space. This is our porch / workspace. Before we started construction, Drew and I lived here for a year. This became really the place where we used to hang out and have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, talk, and stare out the window and kind of gaze across the city. We get these incredible sunsets where it completely transforms the entire space. It actually informed us on the design of this table, which expands, and there are actually two that are designed exactly the same, but then they can reconfigure. So in this configuration, we can sit up to 4, but then these actually split apart and come together, and we can do a party of 6. As well as now, since after COVID and we work remotely, it's basically our desk at the office. We have these 2 vertical light pockets. Also, we really like the idea of not seeing the light source. Obviously, as you come closer, you see the light source, but as you enter, you just have these sort of glowing voids. So this is the bathroom, and the bathroom is behind a secret door, which is actually a break within the line of closets and the fumed oak. And it's actually a mirror that you can both see yourself in to get ready before you leave, but then you open it up, and it reveals the bathroom. In order to kind of create the feeling of a larger space, because it's actually smaller than a standard 5x8 bathroom, we continue with the same stone that we use for the kitchen, and all the walls and the floor are all Carrara marble. And there are actually 2 hidden medicine cabinets where the Carrara marble is the door of the medicine cabinets. And then there's a large floating mirror above the vanity that expands the space. In New York, space is a valuable commodity. And it's really important to master the art of space, of organization, and making every space feel as large as possible while still being very functional. With this particular space, what was exciting was the design is very much like a ship or a recreational vehicle where everything has to have a very specific place. I'm very happy. I'm very lucky to have a great relationship and an amazing place to live in, so I have no complaints.